Welcome to the Asian Supermarket. I'm your host Christina from America.
And I'm Carmen from Australia. Welcome to episode 17 of Asian Supermarket. This week we've got our lovely guest Jen from Thailand. Having studied and worked in South Korea and Malaysia, we chat with Jen about her experiences abroad, while she enlightens us about the colourful wonders of Thai culture.
So grab your spicy Thai dish as we chat with our guest in episode 17.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 17 with our special friend Jen. Welcome Jen, nice to have you.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. Hi.
Yes. So all three of us were actually in the same class at Korea University, and Jen, you said you left Korea. When did you leave Korea?
Well, let me recall actually. So I
Yeah.
spent
If you can give us
around
an intro.
okay. Hi guys, I'm Jan. I'm like from Bangkok, Thailand, and I moved to South Korea in 2013, and I spent around 5 6 years in uni and working, and then I left South Korea in 2018 to Malaysia. But right now I'm back to my hometown, Bangkok, Thailand. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So usually we like to start out with an icebreaker. So Jan, what is your favorite Thai dish?
That's already a tough question for me actually, but
So many.
yeah, so many. And I guess our audience and you guys will know like famous dish like tom yum goong, like spicy soup and everything. But my most favorite would be tom kha gai. So basically it's spicy soup with a lot of herbs and with coconut milk. It's one of the signature dish, and you have some chicken, a lot of herbs, but it's not too spicy. Yeah, tom kha gai. That would be my favorite meal.
Oh, that's
Yes.
cool.
Sounds great.
Then I guess we could go into our fun fact. So our fun fact is that Bangkok is also part of the Genesis World Records, right? There's a official title for being the longest city name. I have no idea how to pronounce this, so can you help us with that, Jan?
Okay. Okay, this is very funny thing, but just wanna explain to you guys. So like Bangkok, the name of our capital city, this word Bangkok is, I would say, is not actually the name that Thai people will call our own city. We call it Krung Thep, Krung Thep. This is in short. But the whole full name, I will just try. Okay, I tried to recite this before. So it's กรุงเทพมหานครอมรรัตนโกสินทร์มหินทราอยุธยามหาดิลกพบนพรัตน์ราชธานีบุรีรัมย์อุดมราชนิเวศน์มหาสถานอมรวิมานอมตะสถิตสกทัตติยะวิษณุกรรมประสิทธิ์ That was it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Do most Thai
it's
people
right.
know? Do most
Okay.
do most Thai people know how to say the full name? Is it something that they teach you to say, or?
I doubt, but we did have like an exam kind of thing during like pre-high school, and it's so funny because everyone would just, oh, there is a song, so like we will try to sing the song so we can remember it by heart. Yeah, like just to remember
Make it
it.
more
But
catchy,
yeah,
Interesting.
exactly.
Wow. So the name actually, it translates to City of Angels, Great City of Immortals, Magnificent City of the Nine Gems, Seat of the King, City of Royal Palaces, Home of Gods Incarnate, erected by Visvakara at Indra's behest. So
Yeah, long name, long meaning. So like,
that's a very
yeah.
meaningful name.
I actually had another question
that's
since
so
we're
cool.
going into like the whole Thai culture. So I remember before I asked you, I saw your name was Jan, but also Napas, right? So can you kind of explain that whole name culture?
Sure. So, okay, like, it's very common for every Thai person to have a nickname. So, okay, basically, my official name is Napat Gornvipat Reung. So, Napat is my Thai first name, and Gornvipat Reung is my family name, right? So, but then nobody would call me by the full name or even the first name Napat because it's just so uncommon. I have my nickname, which is Jan. And people ask me like, then who give you the nickname? Usually all the Thai people, they will have their parents think of that nickname. And so of course Jan is given by my parents. And why Jan? Because I was born in January and they just like the name. But very funny
That's so
thing
cute.
is yeah, I have some of my friends have a funny nickname which is in English. Like for example, there will be some people named Ice, like Ice.
Oh,
Really.
Oh, that's
And
so
then
cute.
yeah, some people will name like let me think of something funny like
I have a
Cookie.
Thai friend. I think her nickname is Mint.
oh,
Yes, Min
It's
also one
very
of the
cute.
common.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah, it's just
it.
like very, very
So cute.
creative, I would say, because we think it's
Yeah,
cute. We don't really care that it's like mean
yeah.
eyes or I don't know. Yeah.
Like you don't think about the meaning behind it. Like the sound is very cute, so then you just go with it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's so nice. I
Yeah.
wish we had that, and then like we could pick our own cute
What would
nicknames.
be
Like
our name?
imagine
What
if
would be
you,
your name, Carmen? I would call you like Apple.
if we were going by
That is
months,
a very cute nickname.
I would be July, you would be June.
Can. Yes, that works as
But
well.
what would you give
Chris,
me as my nickname?
I would call
um,
you Crispy.
Oh, okay. Okay, that should be our
I look at you at the.
everyone. My name is Crispy, and this is Apple.
I don't know
that's
why
very
crispy
cute
popped up in
though.
my mind. I love the sound
Crispy.
of crispy though. Crispy.
Yeah.
It's like
ASMR.
Ah,
that's so funny.
yeah.
So could you talk more about your experience just working in, Korea or studying in Korea? I'm not sure if you worked in Korea, but and then going to,
Mm.
Malaysia after that. Could you talk more about your experience, like what you were doing, maybe a bit about the culture?
Sure. Yes, I did. I spent around, I mean, working um part-time during my school years. Also, that would
Mhm.
be like 2 or 3 years, and then full-time around 10 months. And then okay, like I think working culture in Korea and Malaysia, and of course now in Thailand, they are all very different. And I think all of them have some pros and cons, like living in South Korea, I guess you guys know that South Koreans, they are very diligent, they're very hardworking. Then
Yeah.
they tend to be very strict in some way,
Yeah.
yeah, and very what's the word, like they do things all together. Like let's say lunch, you
Mm.
have to all go in the group, and everything just do things to fit in a group, in a society. I
Yeah.
think this is also different from Western culture where people tend
Yeah.
to stand out individually,
Yeah.
but
Be more
that is
independent.
quite
Yeah.
right. That's quite
Yeah.
different. Yeah, and I moved to Malaysia. I work with in a Netherlands company though, so my working culture is
Oh.
more European style,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they're very international, and it's totally different. I mean, let's say lunchtime, people don't care. You just want to have lunch on your own
Mm.
or whatever, Of course, they will ask you, but they wouldn't give you this pressure to like, hey, we have to
Yeah.
go in a group or something. And yeah, it's just more chill in a way. Yeah, that's
More
how I feel.
freedom.
Yeah.
What about in
Yeah.
Thailand? How's the work culture now? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm actually working with South Korean company actually, but
Oh.
like all my colleagues mostly are Thai. What I feel is I feel also that Thai people are very outgoing. So when you go
Mhm.
to work, and honestly you don't really feel the stressful kind of pressure. And
Yeah.
when we talk, it's just so fun because they are young, and Thai people, they love to go out, they love to like think like, let's say like they just want to like have a nice lunch together, and they will come up with some poll, like, hey, what should we
Yeah.
have for lunch, what should we have for a bubble tea session or whatever. I just feel it's so cool also because this kind of like session where you get excited over like things like just a let's say like small meals or something like that, like I haven't experienced in Korea or Malaysia. But here maybe people tend to be more excited about food also.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we order a lot like delivery, then we will have to like, oh, you have to try this new bubble tea, you have to try this new place. So yeah, I guess it's
Well,
quite fun in a way. And
That sounds like my kind of place. Like,
yeah.
on
Oh, okay.
It sounds so nice, like get you excited about work as well, because then there's something to look forward to, the meal times and then eating
Mhm.
stuff, trying new things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There must be
yeah,
so
yeah,
much to eat
yeah.
in Thailand.
Then I'm just
Hopefully
wondering, like,
soon.
as a Thailand person living in, like Korea,
Mm.
Malaysia, and stuff, did you ever find like you got different treatment or anything because you couldn't speak the
Mm.
language, or any lifestyles you
Okay,
couldn't adapt to?
that's a good question actually, because yeah, I guess I guess after all, like I'm a foreigner in a country, right? So in my mind, it's prepping that like I'm actually like a visitor, to be honest.
Yeah.
But then what I observe is, I think the perception towards like your nationality, it exists, and I'm sure it exists everywhere. When I was in South Korea, though, like I feel that not many people, like some people might not know where is Thailand, or they might get confused with Taiwan, let's say, for example,
Yeah.
which was still funny like now,
Yeah.
but like I mean I think people are more educated by now.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was the first thing. But when I went to Malaysia, I mean everyone knows Thailand for sure because
Yeah.
of the nearness, like the distance
Yeah.
is not too far, right? And even some people can speak Thai and they love Thai food and everything.
Yeah.
But for sure there will be some like weird perception on Thai lady, because I also understand
Oh.
that like there might be some Thai women, they go to country like Malaysia or Singapore, they might work in a certain area, like
Mm.
let's just be real, like prostitution or like
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Yeah.
So like it's funny to me, right? That like sometimes people will ask like weird question or something like that. But I
Yeah.
guess it's just what happens.
Some
So
people are just,
yeah.
they're just not really educated, or maybe, they see the most of the
Mm,
interactions that they've had with Thai people, and then they just have this like messed up perception. So it's just, yeah, trying
yeah,
to overcome
it just
those
happens.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That,
But of course, like most of my experiences were quite positive, to be honest. Like people are really welcoming, like both countries, like Korea and Malaysia. Just that in Korea, it's further, and then people, um how to say, they might not know well about Thailand.
mm.
That's all. It's just different. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, what was your occupation, by the way, at these countries for your
Mm.
work?
Yeah, I'm in digital marketing field. So yeah, when I was in Korea, I worked in like YouTube kind of industry, but I moved to e-commerce when I moved to Malaysia.
Is there any Thai beliefs that only local people would know about that you would like to, tell us about?
This is a fun thing to talk about. So Thai people, we are obsessed about superstition. I can guarantee this.
Oh.
Like it's very funny that like we believe that certain color will bring you luck. So
Oh.
we will have like, you can search on internet as well. I mean everyone will just share this like, it's kind of like a color chart that
Uh-huh.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on which day, if you were born on which day, you can match which color will bring you luck. And this kind of color chart you can even print and put on in front of your wardrobe or put on your smartphone, and you share that like, I want to be lucky in work today because I have a client meeting, so I have to wear green or something like that. So
Wow.
it's like a very funny but common thing, yeah. But I don't really
Okay.
follow that because I mean I don't have all the colors, you know. But
Yeah.
Everyone
That's
must
so
have a very
yeah,
beautiful wardrobe.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like, I know in other cultures, like in Chinese culture, red symbolizes good luck,
Mm,
right? White is
yeah.
usually funeral, but America, black is for
I know.
funeral. Did you know
Okay.
that or no?
I
Yeah,
had no
I'm
idea.
aware of that, and yeah.
Oh,
Is there
I know red is good luck, but I didn't know white is for funerals.
Oh yeah, like white chrysanthemums in Asian culture.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah,
Oh.
I know that one. Yeah,
It's so funny. So it's based on the day that you're born, is it?
exactly. And
What?
based on the day of that day itself, like you can match like
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
you get what
okay.
I
So
mean?
like you're
So
born
first
on
you
a
have to,
Thursday, but today is a Friday, then you have to match it like that.
something like that. There is a shot. I
That's
mean, yeah,
confusing.
it's just funny.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
so interesting. Where
Yeah.
does that come from
Yeah.
though? Has it just always been around? Do you know like where it originated from, or it's like
I'm like, I mean, I guess it's like Thai horoscope studies or
yeah. It sounds
something.
like a horoscope thing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. Is there anything else
Yeah.
that's some like things we do that are taboo? Like I know for example when you
Mm.
enter the monastery we have to take off our shoes, right? When I went there. Is there
Yes,
anything
correct.
else that's like normal people wouldn't know about that would be rude if we did it?
One thing for sure is we think like, okay, let's say like when we pick up stuff, right, or do anything, we wouldn't use our feet or food because we think it's quite rude. Like let's say maybe I drop my cup, whatever right there. I better like just go and then just use my hand to just pick it up rather than like use my feet to like, just move it,
Oh.
Okay.
because we think that food feet are like, what's the word to describe, like lower part, and we
Mhm.
don't want to just simply like use it to touch thing that we will use. Or even like you have a book or something, right? You can't step on a book or you can't use your feet to like just touch it. Like it's very severe taboo. I did that when I was young, and I
Oh.
think I got like the teacher with just like, yeah, like, no, you go and use your hand, like your feet like cannot, like they will say something like that. Yeah.
Oh, could you? I have an interesting question. I want to know, like, in Thai culture, is there such thing,
Mm-hmm.
like, in Korean culture, they have like the hierarchy when they talk, like you talk to the older people and then you talk to the younger people. There's different kinds of speech. Is there anything like that in Thai language?
Yes. Honorific form, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah,
right? Like,
honorific.
so yeah, we do, and almost similar to Korean language. I mean Korean culture as well.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like the simple thing, if you end the sentence, like I think if you watch some Thai series, you have Thai friends, when they speak something, then end the sentence with ka or krap, something like that, just automatically make everything sounds more polite. If you are a girl,
Oh,
you just use the word ka,
ka,
ka, yeah. And if you are
ka.
a guy, you just use krap, krab, krap, yeah.
Mm. Oh,
So yeah,
yeah.
but if you just want to talk casually, then just don't have to put this word. Just
Oh,
say
so like, when you say thank you, it's like kokunka, right? Kokunka.
exactly,
So then
yeah.
if you don't want to be polite, then you can leave out the ka. Is that what you mean? Like if you're talking to
Kopkun, yeah,
friends?
exactly.
Oh, I didn't know
Kopkun,
that.
kopkun, yeah,
Oh,
something
learning
like that.
some Thai phrase. Is there
Yeah.
any, since we're talking about this, are there some common Thai phrases you can teach us? So when we, have friends that go to Thailand, they can also communicate. I know there's like, what is it?
Sure.
Sawadika?
Sawadika.
Swadika, that's nice. Yeah,
Is
Swadika.
that
And I
Sawadika.
like how you guys know how to do this. This thing is
Yeah.
like yeah, like our signature like greeting,
Oh,
yeah,
why? Is it called the
gesture.
why?
okay.
We call it why, correct.
Why?
Yeah, something like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you can say thank you, ขอบคุณค่ะ, like Carmen just mentioned just
Kokunka.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very
I'm
nice
always
word as
saying
well.
this.
Exactly. And then you can
Yeah.
say excuse me is ขอโทษค่ะ ขอโทษค่ะ
Kotoka.
Okay.
Yes. Excuse
Kotoka.
me, ขอ
That's
โทษ
good.
ค่ะ Yeah, you can say bill
Kotoka.
please at ขอ
Oh,
โทษค่ะ Yeah, something like that.
wow. Next time I'm back in Thailand, I have to use these.
Yeah, you can say simple like that. They'll be so happy.
Your language sounds so like sweet, doesn't it? It's like you know what I mean?
Ah,
You
Like
feel
it's so soft.
yeah, like it's like heart flutters. Oh, like very
we have a lot of tonation.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is it a tonal language, Thai? So like depending on what tones, you say the word, is it a
Mm,
different meaning?
yeah, if I'm not wrong, Chinese have 4, but our
Yeah.
language has 5.
Oh, could you talk more about the dating life in Thailand? So like how do you guys meet
Mm,
people, socializing? I'd
yeah.
like to.
Based on my observation though, like I guess most common way you meet people and then just date is maybe throughout like universities or like
Mm.
same social clubs or in office, like something like that. Yeah. Or maybe friends introduction, everything. I know nowadays that we do have a lot of dating apps, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess that is also, if I'm not wrong, like it's also an influence from more like Western countries, like the apps, right? And it's, I wouldn't say it's super common, or like, people, some people will have a skeptical idea about it because some people
Yeah.
misuse or like something like that. Yeah. So it's a common thing, but it's not like so widely. Maybe some Bangkok people in Bangkok would be more open about it. Yeah. And then um what else I can mention about is, I think one unique thing about Thailand, based on my experience to talk when I talk with other foreigner friends, is we are very LGBTQ plus friendly country, or at least in
Oh.
Bangkok, it's like a very open for like homosexual people, or yeah, anyone, right? And I guess it's true, like it's very common when you walk around, like you can visibly see that there might be like people dating. If you compare this to other Asian cities, I would say,
Yeah.
like yeah. So that is also something very interesting, and I guess I guess that's just one
That's
part that
awesome.
maybe the foreign the
Yeah.
tourists will like to come, yeah, to see, yeah.
Because usually in other Asian countries it's like illegal, you can like
Are
get
very
fined, go to jail
conservative.
and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
really cool that it's more, open-minded there.
Yeah.
Do you know if it's always
Mm-hmm.
been like that, or is it like recently where, it's become
Mm,
more, you know,
yeah.
acceptable?
um I, as I grow up, I guess being, like being in like LGBTQ plus is not a very foreign thing for me. It's not a very
Mm-hmm.
abnormal. I have
Oh,
many friends who are, they express themselves in different way, and it's just so cool. They are, we don't differentiate them at all. Yeah.
yeah.
But at the same time, like um I guess as time goes by, the media has become more open, and then they educate like the Thai people in a more healthy way and
Mm-hmm.
more constructive way also. So the perception also become better, especially for the older generation. Before that, of course, they would be very against it. Like
Yeah.
they cannot accept it if their children are, not straight,
Yeah.
right? But right now it's more okay.
Going back to, because earlier I forgot to mention, going back to the, the why the bow thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think that, in most cultures, shaking hand is the way of greeting, right? For you guys, do you guys shake hands at all then, or no? It's only the bow.
No, not at all. Like shake hand is a very Western thing for us,
Oh,
right? Like I mean, we might do this in the business level, but
yeah.
of course, in a normal how to say, like situation, we just like do the Y, or maybe just like bow slightly, and then yeah.
Okay, because Thailand's primarily Buddhist, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So usually, it's more like a way of respect, because it's like, it's not like intimate, like physical touch, stuff like that, right? And
Mm.
people like can dress more conservative, right? Do you feel like there's any relation to that because the country's more
Mm.
religious, or you don't think there's any correlation?
I think so far, like this gesture, it's kind of like symbolize, like, if I'm not wrong, right? And this is what I know is like it looks like a lotus, the flower, right? Like this, and we use lotus to go pray to Buddha in a temple. Yeah, so it already like signifies like respect, or courtesy, or something like that. Yeah, but I guess Buddhism definitely have some influence in it, because I'm back again. Yeah, definitely Buddhism has influence in it. Just I'm not sure in which extent. Yeah.
Usually we like to ask this question, what's the unique travel destinations that are not on Google's top 10? So only locals know about.
It might sound very funny, but like I think one of the best food spots is in the university canteen, like the food court.
Oh.
So like usually people when they come and like street food hunt in Bangkok, they would look for Chinatown, or I don't know, like some of the famous name you can search online, but actually the most affordable and the tastiest is actually in university record. Like you can hop on to another famous any famous university like Chulalongkorn University. When you arrive there, just look for the food court. There will be like tons of like good, nice, authentic Thai food. And I guess it could be like almost half price cheaper. I mean, because this is for university students,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and then you can enjoy the scenery of like Thai university kids, and yeah, I think it's cool if you can just go there and try.
We can
This is
just walk there.
interesting.
Like, is it indoors or outdoors? In
Oh,
the
usually it's indoor. Yeah,
so
Do you
we-
need to have like a student pass?
usually you don't have to, but I mean, yeah, I
Wow.
guess it's okay because I mean, some people like you outside people, they would go like maybe some delivery man, the uncles, you know, they just go there and have a quick meal. So yeah.
It reminds me of Korea as well, because when we were in uni, I remember like the places
Yeah.
around the universities would have like the cheaper, also good tasting, kinds of foods. So it's cool that the
Yeah.
culture is like quite similar too. What about when you were in Malaysia? Did you travel around much, or were you? I guess you're mainly in like Kuala Lumpur, right?
Yeah,
Have any like
unfortunately,
favorite
yeah
Malaysian
couldn't
foods
go
or
around that
places?
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Malaysia though, like I feel like the eating like the food culture is very much more dynamic from what I observe in Thailand, right? So like they have diversity of food, like Indian food, Chinese food, Malay food, and then they also have different types of restaurant. Yeah. So I guess I love all the food in Malaysia. I can't just pick one to be honest.
Dude, Malaysia food is so good. Like whenever I go back, because my mom is from
I
Malaysia, we
know.
always go back, eat so much. Like, and it's also really
Yeah,
affordable as well, most places. And they have like the
exactly.
food courts,
Yeah.
the hawker centers. Christina, you saw it in Singapore, right? It's like Malaysia and Singapore, they have like this like hawker center
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, and you can get like so many
Uh-huh.
different types of foods.
Kopitiam.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow, did you pick
Kopitiam.
out any like Malay slang?
A little bit only, like yeah. They
Kopitiam.
are just very nice food. Oh my god. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
This is a very good time to discuss and yeah, have a chat with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely to hear more about Thailand because I don't have that many Thai friends, and then when you go travel to Thailand, like you don't really speak to the locals, and then sometimes the English isn't great, so you can't really like, know more.
Understand.
So
yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was great to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. It's great because you have such a cultural experience, in so many different countries too. So yeah, thank you for bringing your culture to our show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you
had a
for
lovely time
having
talking to
me.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Asian Supermarket, and check back in next week for a new episode with our friend Emily, who's half Australian, half Japanese, currently living in Japan. See you next week.